Hi, my name is Allison, if you do not know me, and I have three last names, and it's Allison, Brewer, Tennyson, Crow. Um, each name is extremely special to me and represents a part of me and of my life that will forever be there. I am making this video to tell a bit of my story and to offer hope, to offer experience, and to offer love. I never really get nervous when I make videos, but I am nervous today making this. So a little backstory real quick, just in case you've never heard of me or anything like that. I'm not expecting that you have. But I have lived a great life. I was the baby of 6 children. I am the baby of 6 children, and I'm the aunt to now 19. And I love all of my nephews and nieces, and I love my brothers and sisters, and I love my parents, and I'm just very, very grateful to have this wonderful, beautiful family. In 2010, I was 23 years old, and I was married for the first time to someone that I thought was the love of my life, and to me they were the love of my life. And I quickly was in a marriage filled with lies, manipulation, abuse that was not physical, and so much more. In 2014, after a lot, there was finally solid proof evidence that he had multiple affairs and done multiple things throughout our entire marriage, only just a couple of months after we were married. So very quickly, within one day, I had to move out of our apartment. I had to quit my job because we both worked at the same place, and the place where I actually got him a job after stuff had happened previously. And I had to leave my dog and my life that I was creating in this place. And it was very, very difficult. With that said, and I'm not saying this to be boastful, I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I tried to tell him that if he would get counseling, if he would change, that we would try and make this work. And he decided that was not something that he wanted to do. So it all ended on August 21st of 2014. November 7th of 2014, I went on this date with this amazing guy who had messaged me on Facebook 2 days prior and was best friends with my brother. But I didn't really know this guy. They had played softball together and they were just very close, but I didn't know him. And we went out and we hit it off, and within a week, no kidding, November 15th, I told him that I loved him, And he told me back, and it was truthfully like God had just put him in my life as such a saving grace, and to be everything that I needed him to be, and so much more. And it was just amazing. Like, I couldn't hardly believe it some days. But so that was in November. In February, we started looking at engagement rings, and then Jake Tennyson was his name. He in February looked at engagement rings. In March, he decided to get baptized, and I was so thrilled about that. And in April 3rd, 2015, he proposed to me. And it was the best decision that I could have ever made. So we were super excited, and we thought we would get married in October of the coming year, but I ended up getting a job that summer, and it was in Trenton, and that was 2 hours from where we lived. And so we both, at that time, especially me, wanted us to live, or wanted us to be married before we lived together. So we threw together a wedding in the middle of the summer, July 10th, 2015, in my parents' backyard, and it was our families that did that, and it was the most amazing thing ever. And then we still had our wedding in October. So we moved to Trenton, and it was awesome. I taught, and he went back to school, but he just wasn't happy fully with doing that. He wanted to work, and his family had a logging business. So in December of 2015, we moved back home to Hohenwald, Tennessee, and he began working with his brother and his stepdad logging again. So here we were. We were living with my parents. We didn't have a house yet. We were looking for a house, and we very much wanted to start a family. So we found a house. We were in the process of actually closing on it, and in the process of trying to have a baby. And so we had been married 8 months. On March 17th, 2016, he was killed working in the logwoods by a complete accident. To say that it was the hardest day of my life would probably be an understatement. But it was truly a day where I felt like I got the closest to death that I've ever been. I no longer wanted to live, and I just had so many questions. I had so many questions of why. I had so many questions of how could this happen? How could God send me this amazing man to come, galloping into my life like my, Prince Charming, and us be creating this life together. We're trying to have a baby. We're about to buy a house, and him just be taken. How could that happen? And why him? I was just, why him? Jake had turned his life around quite a bit in the time that we were together. And I don't say that taking credit for it, because he was already like this amazing, amazing man who had this amazing heart, and who had been through such a hard journey himself. He had lost his stepsister. He had lost his dad. And he just came from a very hard story as well. But in the time that we were together, he ended up accepting Jesus as his Lord, and he took all that on, and we just had these plans and these goals for our life, and it was perfect. You know, like, it was messy some days, yeah, and we didn't get along all the time, but I was his biggest cheerleader and he was mine. So I just did not even come close to understanding. So in the days and weeks after that, I don't know if I can ever fully put to words the roller coaster of emotions and feelings that I had. I questioned God. I questioned if there was a God. And if there was, where the hell was he at? I questioned why there were all these people out there that were doing drugs and, you know, awful things and had these like crazy lives, and it had to happen to Jake. I questioned just my purpose and my existence and why I couldn't be taken with him. I questioned if I'd ever leave again. And I questioned, like, if I would ever breathe again. So there was just so many feelings. So many feelings. And the biggest reason I'm doing this right now is to start telling you this next story. And that's how I'm sitting here right now, talking to you, telling you how I made it. So for the first 9 days after Jake passed away, I slept in between my two sisters every night, two of my sisters, and my nieces at the end of the bed. I couldn't stand to be alone. I forgot how to do simple things like brush my teeth or take a shower. It was like I didn't know how to do like simple day-to-day stuff anymore. Even eat. It was like I didn't know how to drink out of a straw. I mean, it was crazy. But they were there every step of the way, and not just them. My entire family, my brothers, my mom and my dad. I would not be breathing right now if it wasn't without my mom. My nephews, my nieces, everybody in my central unit, they were unbreakable. And they put aside every bit of feelings that they had and catered to me, to making sure that I chose to live. So those first couple weeks just looked like, honestly, trying to figure out just how to get out of bed in the morning, how to brush my teeth again. I mean, I remember at Jake's funeral, when I look back at it now, you know, I hadn't brushed my hair that day. It was in a ponytail. I wouldn't let them put makeup on me. I had on his jersey, and I wanted to crawl in that casket with him and be done. But they continued to surround me, and there was this voice inside of me that kept saying, you were here for a purpose. You can't give up, you can't give in. So for that first month, again, it was so ugly. It was a goal some days just to get up and get clothes on and sit at the kitchen table. If I did that, then it was a win. From there, it went to me and my mama planning things to do. We had to take care of so many things. And it was almost just like we had to set those little goals like that had to be done that day. And so then about a month went by and I got some footing under me. And I had started journaling. That was one of the sweetest gifts that so many people gave me, was journals. And every night before I would go to bed, probably starting, I don't know the exact day, but just 2 or 3 weeks, if that, after Jake passed away, I decided to start journaling, or just, and I wrote to him. So I wrote letters to him every night, just exactly what I did that day and how I felt and how much I missed him and just all of that. And if I didn't do that, I felt like I hadn't seen him that day, or I hadn't spoken to him. And so it was just like a dire need. Like I would go on not having sleep at all if it meant that, you know, I got that done, or I got out what I wanted to say to him that day. So I did that, and that was very, very helpful, just in feeling like I could still communicate with him. So then I got opportunities. I got asked to go places with people. I had people come into my life that I had known, but they weren't really close to me or close friends. And I had people reach out to me, and there were so many people that prayed for me and prayed for Jake's family and prayed for my family. And I'm so forever, eternally grateful, because we lived, and I lived on your prayers for so long in the beginning. So thank you. But so I started going, you know, if I got the opportunity to do something, if I got asked to go somewhere, usually I was gonna go. I knew I had to. Laying at home, sitting in our room, all those things, it was not therapeutic. It was not healing after a few weeks. It only sucked me back in and made me dwell in the loss. And I could not do that. So I said yes. I became the yes woman. And I would go and I would do, and I made new friends, and it was some really good times, to be honest. Some really good times. From there, though, I made some not so great decisions, because with being the yes woman, you know, more alcohol came in the picture, more late nights came in the picture, just more not having a true care or conscience sometimes came into the picture. And I think, you know, that was probably just part of my healing process, my coping process. But it wasn't the real Allison. And it wasn't, if I had been in my total right mind, what I would have chose to do. But again, I'm just going to tell you how I made it. So that happened. Then, in June, I had created this group of friends that just were there for me, you know, pretty constantly. And they were also Jake's friends. And truth be told, they were closer to him than they had ever been to me. They just kind of took me in. And so one of those friends in specific was Kane Crow. And I developed feelings for him so quickly. And I was so mad. Like, I was so incredibly mad. I was mad at myself. I was mad at Jake. I was mad at God. I would go out to Jake's grave and I would scream. And I remember the first time I went out there and told him, you know, like how mad I was that here I was having feelings for his best friend. I didn't understand and I didn't want to have those feelings, and I was so mad that I was even in that situation. And so I would journal this to him too. And then I finally started praying again. And I finally started doing my daily devotionals again that I had just been so stringent about beforehand, because it's what had brought me through so much before Jake. And I could hear God and I could hear Jake telling me, we want you to be happy. We want you to make it. And this is not going to be like you thought it would look like, Allison. This is not going to be what society thinks it should look like. And it seems in my life that I've never been one of those that does things necessarily the easy way or the acceptable way. But nevertheless, it was my way. And so I started hanging out with this guy. This guy that had known my husband so much longer than I had, and knew him like on all these different levels than I did. So we shared stories, and we shared heartache, and we shared a mutual love for the most precious soul. And I fell in love with him so quickly. And I took him on a roller coaster so quickly. So I look back now from June until this day, and I'm questioned so often, you know, how are you here? How did you move on? I've gotten that a lot. How do you move on? And I haven't moved on. And I never will move on. But I chose to move forward. There's a big, big, big difference. To move on is like to leave something behind. And to move forward is just to pick up where everything left off and just keep going. And I had to do that. I had to do that for my sanity. I had to do that for my survival. And it wasn't always pretty. It was very ugly at times. But the one common thread, y'all, in all of this, if you've hung around this long to talk to hear me talk, was God. I was so angry with him. I could not understand that I had people message me and call me and tell me when they would see me what Jake and my story had done for them. And the video that Jake and I made on Valentine's Day of him telling his testimony, what it had done for their walk with the Lord. And I knew, like I really knew, God's plan. I could see it. I could feel it. Every time somebody would tell me something, I could feel it. I could feel like Jake saying, you see, Allison, I'm okay. And we're just bringing more people with us every time. I know that everybody heals and deals with grief and hardship and all of that in so many different ways. And so I'm not saying that anybody's story will look like mine or will, sound like mine or whatever. But I will tell you that without God, I would not be here. And he wants you and everything that you've been through, whatever it looks like. Whatever it looks like, however ugly it is. He can restore it. And he wants to restore it. And he wants to give you life. And he wants to give you hope again. And he wants to give you purpose. And you are here for a reason. There's so many people that I need to personally thank that have been there for me throughout my journey. God most, my family, my mom and my daddy, my brothers and my sisters, my nieces and my nephews, Kane Grandma, and so many more. My best friends, Courtney and Rachel and Amber, Mallory, my church family. So many people. I'm so thankful for you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for still believing in me. On those days, I didn't believe in myself. And everything that I post and everything that I put up, I pray that, honestly, every time I do it, that it helps one person. If I can ever help you, please do not hesitate to message me. I will do the best that I can, and I don't know that our situations look anything alike. But I can tell you again that God, His mercy, His unending love, it's the answer.